don't worry, I can't show you proof of this because I got my teeth fixed. But do you remember when you kicked my mouth and you chipped my tooth at the beach? We were in the pool. You don't remember
No.
this?
What? Our next storyteller today, I have known for quite literally her whole life, my whole life as well. Growing up, she might have been known as Mare, Schmare, my favorite, Josh's sister, one of three, the one and only Meredith Robinson. Hi, Mare, how are you?
I'm so good. I'm so excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you. So you're actually the very first interview I'm doing as I restart this podcast. So thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for asking me.
Of course. So I know we have a lot of stories together, and that is the whole point of the show, to tell stories that we want to remember, that we want to share with people many, many years down the road. But before we get into all of those, I want to know if you have a story that if no one's met you before, no one knows Meredith, is there a story you can tell us that will tell us who you are?
Yeah. It's a story that you and I both know very well. We were both there together. And the reason I think I chose this one
Uh-huh.
because I titled it I'm Sensitive. Because I'm a
I
sensitive
know.
person. You know more than anyone, or as much as anyone else in the family, I'm a sensitive person. I get my feelings hurt very easily,
Right.
especially if you're a loved one in my life, right? Okay. So we'll get on with the story. I couldn't tell you how old I was. I want to say elementary school, maybe middle school. You were still in the house.
Right.
So whatever that means. Still young. And you chime in if you remember more details than I do.
Okay.
But I remember mom and you were together. You and mom were together, and one of you said something that hurt my feelings. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot was said. I'm sure there was this. I said something and y'all made fun of me. I'm sure.
We would never. I
And
think
I
you've
had
gotten us confused. We would never make fun of you, Mare. That's
I'm
no, no, no.
wrong brother. Wrong brother.
Right.
Right. And I decided I had had enough. I was
Mm-hmm.
being treated poorly by the family and I was running away. And so I wrote a little note and I think I slid it under the closet door because that's where I went to go hide. So
You did.
instead of running away, I went and hid in my mother's closet. And I think I slid the note under the closet door. And I was like, if they find it, that means they were looking for me. And if they don't find it, that means they didn't care that I ran away, right? Because I didn't go anywhere. Where was I going to go? So I ran away and hid in the closet. And then when you found the note and you and mother realized where I was, you continued to make fun of me. And I got my feelings hurt even more. So that would be a little bit about me. I'm just a very sensitive person and I will run.
That is exactly how I remember the story. I remember we might have even been in mom and dad's room when this happened. And so when you slid the note under
Maybe,
the
yeah.
door, we were like, yeah, we know you're in there. Like we watched you hide in there. Do you remember like what would you have done if we like hadn't come looking for you? Were you going like cuz none of your clothes were in there. Like you didn't have anything in the closet.
I think it was more of I wanted y'all to miss me. I wanted you to realize how sad and lonely your lives would have been if I wasn't there. But it didn't work.
I will say our lives would be very sad and lonely if Meredith Robinson was not in them. So I am very glad that you did not run away. And that is a perfect I have not thought about that
Great.
story in a minute, but that is a perfect story to describe my sister Meredith Robinson.
Agreed. I want to
So
feel loved and wanted.
oh, don't we all? Don't we all? I think
Right.
we both
Right.
are very similar in that way. Yeah. Yeah.
We are.
One of we are one of my favorite stories about us. Have you seen? Do you remember watching the old home videos that we had for years and years in that weird VHS? And we would like put the littler ones
Yes.
in the big one and watch them. Do you remember
Yes.
me and you singing Shania Twain?
Is this the microphone video?
It is the microphone video. It is.
Okay, yes. I think you might remember it a little better than I do, but
And
for some reason, that's like one of the, I think I remember two, but that's one of the ones I remember watching.
well, yes, and I don't know why that's one we watched over and over. And so that's the only memory I have is watching it. I don't remember doing this to you because we were little,
Right.
but because our birthdays are just 4 years and 5 days apart. So like now that we've gotten older, if we are together, we will usually just celebrate. We get a cookie cake from mom and like,
Mm.
yay. But when we were little, I think for my birthday, a couple years after, maybe Christmas, I don't know. I had gotten a microphone, and at the time, Shania Twain she was my girl. She was my person, specifically the song Honey, I'm Home. And there's a home video, I'm sure it still exists somewhere, that I am singing into this microphone. And then I think from behind the camera, dad is like, share with your sister. And so I like give you the microphone for a second, and I think you're like messing up the song, and we're not going to have any of that. And so I do like rip the microphone out of your hand so I can finish the song the way it needs to be finished.
Yes.
And
From what I
that is our
remember is I
relationship.
kept, wasn't it like a fake microphone though? Like I kept taking the top of the microphone off. Didn't I? Am I making that up?
Yes. No, that is
And
also
you were
I
like,
think that's
narrate it. Like,
yes, that was also happening. And I was like, stop. That is not how we play with the microphone. You were
yeah.
doing this wrong. You were doing this wrong. So I think that's a great story. One of my favorite stories about us. Okay, so I had this thought the other day, and since we are 4 years apart, once I got out of elementary school, we were never in school together again. And
Mm-mm.
specifically once I went to college and then graduated. So the year after I graduated, you started your freshman year of college, and you went to Memphis, and I was in Jackson, so just an hour
Mhm.
away. But I feel like you did a lot in college, and like I would hear bits and pieces. Specifically, you played rugby. Was that high school or college?
That was high school.
Okay, tell me how and why and when, because you played softball for a minute and then you did
Yes.
chorus, which we had similar. How did rugby? Why rugby?
Okay, so like you said, I played softball for a very long time, and I thought that's what I wanted to do in high school. And so I played my freshman year, and I just, we won't go into detail, but me and softball, we weren't lasting. I knew I didn't want to play anymore. And so I quit after my freshman year. And sophomore year, I didn't do anything. But like I said, I had played sports all growing up. And so that 1 year of sophomore year where I didn't play anything, I was always going to MK soccer games or Megan soccer games or whatever it was. And I just felt like I needed something to do on the side. And so I started looking into other sports and I really, really, really wanted to play lacrosse. And when I brought that to mom's attention, she was like, no, they're too aggressive. Keep that in
Oh,
mind, right, right, right. Because with the
right.
sticks, they hit each other with the sticks. It's a thing. I understood, right? And so I think what ended up happening is I went to it was either a Sunday night or a Wednesday night church with the
Hmm.
youth group, and Sydney Pate and Catherine Pace, and maybe Jenna might have started with me, but they were on the rugby team for Germantown because Carterville didn't have their own team. And so they were telling me about the rugby team. And so I went home that night and I brought it to mom's attention. And I was like, can I just go to a practice and see if I like it? And she was like, sure. So she said yes to rugby, but no to lacrosse. And so I went to a practice and I just loved it. Like it was just something different. I didn't know anything about the sport. I was starting from ground zero, but I ended up loving it. It was just so much fun. But that's what happened because, like I said, Carnival didn't have a team, Houston didn't have a team, but Germantown had a team technically through their school. And so we just combined Collierville and Houston people onto the Germantown team.
Okay. See, I've never asked, and now I'm glad I did. Um,
Mhm.
and what was that like? Did you make any friends? Was it, you don't play anymore. Would you get back into it?
So going into college, so after senior year, we had senior night for rugby and everything. My coach at the time was actually one of the coaches they're called the Pink Flamingos. They're the Memphis team. And he had come up to me, asked me if that was something I was interested in. And at the time, I was already worried about college, going into college. Not that I wouldn't say I had anxiety for it, but like I wanted to get my foot in the door of college first, like figure out classes, what I wanted to do. And so I told her, I was like, at this moment, I don't want to play anymore. I wish I would have, looking back at it, just because I think I would have met more people through it. And it's something that I could probably still be doing today. Like, I still see some people that I played with in high school, they're still traveling, they're still playing. And so to answer that question, yeah, I made lots of friends. I still keep up with them. We don't talk as much, but those girls, there's like two or three of them still playing. And I'm like, I wish I did. I couldn't, I don't remember half of the rules or techniques or what anything's called. But it was, yeah, I loved it.
Okay. I don't remember like, any specifics, but I just remember like hearing that you were playing rugby all of a sudden, and I was like, okay, sure, this is a new one added to
Yeah.
the Robinson list of sports. Um
Yeah.
so you are also a claim to fame in our family, one of two of the smartest Robinsons. You have your masters, and you and
I
dad
do.
are the only two currently that have that. So tell us a little bit about, is there a story or is there a moment when you first realized, oh, I want to major in psychology? And then what was it like going through the master's program as well?
Yeah, let's get into it. So, in high school, I I think a lot of people just do high school just to get it over with. And I remember senior year, I was trying to pick classes to take, and there was this one class that I hadn't seen before, and it was the psychology class with Coach Leffler. And I was like, you know what? Why not? Like, some of my friends are taking it. Let's just take psychology, see what it's about. And I fell in love with psychology. I fell in love with figuring out how the brain works, why people do the things they do, say the things they say, how it develops over time. And so I was like, I could do more of this in college. So that's why I chose psychology for my undergrad degree in Memphis. And I ended up liking like general psych my freshman year. I took that and I ended up liking it, but then I started taking more like child lifespan classes and looking more into like children and why they do what they do. And then also keep in mind in college, I was determined on being a grief counselor. And
Hmm.
so I was focusing more on that path and determined to do that in the future. And so I kept taking all these classes, and I was doing great at them. Like I can do a class, but once I graduated, I remember I decided I didn't want to do grief anymore because I started getting emotion. I don't know if you remember this growing up. I was not a crier. I did not cry very often, like as far as movies, as far as books, like just in my life, I didn't cry unless I was in trouble.
Is this true?
I'm a crybaby now. I
Okay.
will cry in front of you. But that's a
I
recent thing. That's like over the last like 3 years.
I don't remember this about you, but I am still the same way. So okay, I'm learning things. Continue. Continue.
Yes. No, I did not cry growing up, but I started getting like not real emotions, but just more emotional towards things. Like I would cry all the time and I started getting anxiety towards like the end of college and like I don't know, grief counseling it just wasn't what I wanted to do, but I had my psych degree and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I remember figuring it out. We were on the beach. I think this was a year you were meeting us down there because I do remember you being there, I think. But
Mm-hmm.
we were sitting there and me and mom were talking. She was like, what are you going to do? Because what do you do with a psychology degree other than become a psychology teacher? Like there aren't many things you can do with that.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I have to start looking into like some kind of counseling. Like there's so many different counseling things to do. And so I thought of school counseling and I reached out to sweet Miss Jerry Chodak and just
Yes.
kind of asked her like what steps I need to take if that was something I wanted to do. And so I decided right then and there, school counseling was what I was going to do. I started looking to all different kinds of programs once we got home. Um, I applied for the master's program for Memphis. I don't know if you know this, a lot of programs, you have to take a test called the GRE to get into their master's programs.
Okay.
I paid $200 for it. I took it once. I was like 2 points off in the math section and 1 point off in the English, whatever section. I was not taking that test again. I studied. I'm not taking it again. So that's when I found sweet University of Tennessee at Martin. And that is how I ended up at Martin in their school counseling program. Now, if we want to get into that, that's a whole nother story. It was not easy figuring out that I was accepted into this program, but I was.
Okay. I don't remember this either. Tell me, what do you mean?
Okay. So I applied. I have my dates wrong. The last thing we just talked about, I said we were on the beach. I did graduate though. Maybe, okay, I don't know. But I remember applying for the UT Martin program
Mm-hmm.
in like March. Yeah, I've
Oh,
got my
okay.
dates wrong
Okay.
somewhere. I've got my dates wrong.
Sure. Maybe it was the summer
We'll
before
keep
you.
going.
Okay, yeah.
Who really cares? You know, who cares? I applied for the UC Martin program in like March. And so March goes on, April goes on, June goes on. I think I skipped May.
Who needs it?
all
Who
these
needs it?
all of these months are going by, right? And this is where we're sitting on the beach. I don't
Okay.
know. We could have been we go to the beach every year. We could have been at the beach both times. But mom had asked me, have you heard anything? And I was like, I haven't. Like, I don't know what's going on. Like, classes start in August. We're in July. Like, what am I going to do? I don't know if I've got accepted. I don't know if I've been declined. I have no idea. And so I'm calling Martin, like calling anyone that Google sets for me to call to get in contact with someone. And they're like, oh, you'll hear something shortly. You'll get something in the mail, blah, blah, blah. Never did I ever, right? So we go up. Our youngest sister, if you know, Meredith Robinson, she did also attend UT Martin.
Right.
And so she got accepted. We did her room and stuff. And so I, myself, Megan, mother and father, all go up to help Megan move in August. Okay. We go up there. We're getting her stuff in. Dad looks at me and was like, we're going to find someone to tell you if you're in the program or not. We're here. Let's do it. Josh Robinson, we ran around that whole campus. Keep in mind, it's beginning of August. It's hot. I wish we'll get to that. So we're running. We find this one woman and she's like, how can we help you? And I'm like, okay, I applied for this program. I have called people. No one will give me an answer. Like classes start on Monday. This is the Thursday before classes start. And she was like, this is where we have to go. Cool. We go there. Office is closed. She's with us and she's just a little old woman. I wish I remembered her name because she was amazing. She was like, okay, plan B. This is where we're going. She takes us the whole time. We're just thanking her. She was so sweet. And finally we meet a man who sits me down and we're figuring things out. And he was like, okay, let's go talk to this lady. So we ended up going to it was a whole thing. Finally, she looks at my name. She goes, oh yeah, you were accepted back in May.
Hello?
So who was going to tell me that? He responds and says, your name must have gotten cut off from our whatever page they printed out. My name got cut off at the bottom of it. And so they never sent me my acceptance packet. So she hands it to me right there. She handed it to me. Classes start on Monday. So I go back to the man originally because he was like higher up and we could sit there and pick out my classes, basically.
Right.
And so me and Dad sat there and we picked out all my classes and he was telling me like what I needed to do once I got home and all this stuff. And then that's when he started telling me about grad programs and how I could get it paid for and this whole thing. And so we go home Thursday night, Friday morning, I wake up. I'm accepting and registering for all these classes. I get them. I start emailing people about the graduate program. Take the whole next week when first day of classes are to find somewhere to live, find somewhere to work. The daycare is where I ended. And then I was up there a week later and I moved to Martin, Tennessee.
I did not know any of that. Holy cow.
And in my brain, like, it's not like I was just sitting back waiting for someone to tell me. Like, I called at
Right.
least twice a week trying to get an answer, and they could not tell me anything. Oh, you'll hear something. I need a yes or no.
But then that woman could just look your name up and obviously you're there.
just-
Like,
Oh yeah, you were accepted. Thank you.
Thank you
for your time and
so much.
dedication.
well, thankfully
But
we got through that. You graduated.
yes.
How does that feel?
It felt really good because there were times where I was like, and never once did I want to give up. Like
Sure.
I was getting that degree. I was gonna have 2 degrees under my name, and I was excited for it. But moving to Martin, Tennessee, yes, we have family out there, and Megan was there, and it was amazing. But I am such a homebody. I missed mom and dad. I missed MK, and you were still in Jackson, weren't you?
For a
at least
minute.
my first year. Or no?
Yes. I think so.
I
When
think
was that?
so. And 21,
Oh
maybe
no,
20.
I had left.
21. Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, I had people out there, but they weren't
Right.
my people. Like my best friends were still back home. Family was still back home. And so it was hard for me at first because like you said, like we're from Curryville. I went to Memphis. I had never been away from home. And so not that I was far, I was 2 hours away, but I still wasn't home. It wasn't a 20-minute drive like it was when I was at Memphis.
Sure.
And so my first year there, I got random roommates. They ended up becoming some of my best friends. I ended up loving all 3 of them very much so, and still do. But I had a good little setup. It just wasn't where I wanted to be. So I struggled for like the first year, getting to know people, meeting people. But I ended up loving it. I still, to this day, go back to Martin, Tennessee to visit people all the time. I get my hair done, and I will drive 2 hours to get my hair and eyebrows done instead of paying the prices here in Memphis. But it ended up being a home away from home. I ended up having so many different families take care of me. They cooked for me, fed me. They made sure my car's oil was always changed. My tires were blown up, whatever. They literally, I had so many families out there and it ended up being such a blessing. I just love it now. But in the beginning, I did not give it a chance.
Yes. I tell everyone the first 6 months of anything new is hard. So just like know that going in and just like accept it. That's what I've learned, at least from working in TV and moving every couple of years, the like 2 or 3 jobs I had. It's just hard because it's different and it's new and you're learning and, like you said, meeting new people. But hey, I'm very proud of you. You're crushing it. I want to know, do you have a favorite Robinson family story? Is there one that like anytime someone starts telling you get like really excited? Or is there one you just hear and it's like always a laugh?
Me and mom were in the car the other day talking about this. I was like, yeah, I need to think of more stories because at the time I only had like 2 things. And I was like, I've got to think of more. Like we're going to have a whole hour or however long this is going to go to talk. And like, I know there are stories, but when you put me on the spot, I can't think of nothing. And so we started talking. I was like, oh, do you remember this? And so one of them, that we talked about was, you're gonna love this one because
Oh, I can't
we're
wait.
gonna have to you're gonna have to show everyone the
Oh, okay.
scar.
Oh.
We
Oh. Oh,
Yes. The
great.
reason I want to tell this story is because I have a different point of view,
Right. Yes,
obviously,
please. I would love to hear it.
from the event. Okay, so let's put it into perspective. We're home.
Mhm.
We're in the backyard. We have a family friend. We have friends over, a family that we grew up with. Anyway, the Brumfields are over
Mhm.
and we're eating, I assume, dinner together. I think we grilled out, whatever. We wanted to play capture the flag.
We did.
Yeah.
We
So
did.
in their family, they have 3 boys, and in our
Mhm.
family, there's 4 of us. So it was a good little team. We had 7 people playing. I don't know whose team I was on, but as we're playing, Josh here was running. I don't know if you had the flag. I don't know if you were going for the flag,
I don't remember either.
but you ran past the pool. In our
Mhm.
pool at the time, it was up, and so we had these bricks around the pool.
Mhm.
And Josh, you ran past the pool and you went to jump the bricks to get on the grass.
Correct.
And when you landed, I'm on the deck. I remember watching you jump, and when you landed, immediately it was something was wrong. You screamed. We're all screaming because we don't know what's going on. That's when
Right.
mom and dad came out. I ran inside and I was like, Josh is hurt. And they come running out. And I didn't go down the deck stairs until mom and dad did. But as soon as I get down there, all I see is red. All I see is blood coming out of your knee. And I look, and it is just like a gash in your knee. And
Mhm.
I'm like, you're missing a chunk. And so I'm looking for this chunk of your knee in the
No.
grass. Like, we gotta get it. What are we gonna do? And that's when mom was like, Meredith, it's not missing. You straightened your leg out and your knee went back together.
Yeah, it did.
But I literally, it was a gas. Like, there was a chunk of your knee missing. But
Mhm.
we stayed back, and I assume mom and dad took you to the ER,
Yes,
and you came back, and it was all stitched up, and now you have a beautiful pinky purpley
I
scar.
do. So my POV
You
of this
do.
story, it is summer before my freshman year of high school. So this would have been summer of 20. When did I graduate high school? I graduated in 2013. So it would have been the summer of 2008. Is that right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we're playing capture the flag, and I'm running, and like you said, our pool, it's back then it still is, I think. It kind of is the top of a very, 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 very small hill in our backyard, and the other side was just like would be the drop off of this hill. And so we had like brick pavers that were like keeping up flower beds and things.
Hmm.
And yes, I jumped, and the best way the doctor could describe it is, and this like trigger warning if you don't like doctor things, squeamish things. When I landed, my leg went one way and my kneecap went the other. And it was so much force that it just tore the skin. And it did look like a chunk of my knee was missing. But as soon as I straightened it, it went right back together. So I did have, I think, like 4 stitches on the inside and 12 on the top. Um, but I believe what I also remember about that is I think for some reason y'all got dropped off at the Vic's house, and
Maybe.
I went to the hospital, obviously, and watched Harry Potter because there was a marathon on, and I got
Well, there you
lots
go.
of blankets put on me, um, and that's that's really all I remember about that day. I don't remember screaming, but I'm
Oh.
sure I
Oh,
did.
man. Yeah. Yeah, you did.
And I've only, hurt myself a few more times since then. So it's fine.
There
We're
you go.
so good. We're so good. Another place that holds a lot of stories for us is Pea Ridge, Mississippi.
I was going to say that. That was my
Pea
next one.
Ridge. What do you have?
Well, I was going to say, like, when I was trying to think of stories, my I just kept going back to Thanksgiving. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's just always a good time. That's like one of the few times a year we're all together now, especially now that we're grown up. But I mean, there's just so many stories as far as on the trampoline or going down the hill on bikes or
Mhm.
dad on the swing or us playing cards. Like, there are just so many different stories. So I was going to bring up P Ridge next. I don't know if
So
you have a specific
I
story
do.
ready.
My P Ridge
Okay.
story is with you, and it was the first year I worked at WBBJ, West Tennessee's news channel.
Hmm.
And I worked the morning shift, so I got done around noon that day. And there were obviously, I mean, like, as we all know, the news never stops. So there was a group of us just like not going home for Thanksgiving. But I realized I got done in time and I could still make it, at least for a couple hours. And so I did. I drove down. Um, and was there for just a couple hours. And for whatever reason, we decided that because I had been up since 2 a.m., 2:30, whatever time I got up then, um, because I had to be at work at 4, that you would ride back with me to Jackson. And we screamed, sang several songs. Do you remember this?
I I remember driving you back.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember going to Jackson.
No, we
Man, my memory
did.
though.
We did. And you spent the night, but like we were, because I was probably delusional by that point because I had been up for many, many hours and then had to be up very early the next morning. But I remember like we were just singing, either like scream singing or singing songs terribly. And we were just, I have a video. I'll play the audio here in just a second, but it is truly one of my, like, when I look back on it, when it pops up every year, I'm like, oh, so funny. Um,
I love that.
yeah, I'll send you the video. But
Please
it
do.
is, I will. It is great. Um, and then another thing we used to do, you brought it up already. We went to the beach every summer growing up. I think there were 2 summers. One summer we went to Disney, which our parents have
Yes.
swore they'll never do again. Um,
Yes.
and then we went to, what's the place in
We
Missouri?
did a cruise.
We did a cruise. Oh, right. We did a cruise. And then we went to some theme park, um, Silver Dollar City, I think, for like a long
Oh,
weekend. Do
yeah.
you remember this? Um,
Hmm.
but there was one summer we went to the beach, and you and mom, you have a friend, Leslie, and you and mom, for whatever reason, decided day one that you were only speaking in British accents. And
We did do that.
you did do that, and I believe you did it for the entire week that we were there.
I do believe we did, and I don't think father was very happy with that.
That was going to be my next thing. And I think by day 2, dad was like, you have to stop. We because you would
Done.
do
You're
it.
done.
You would do it in public. You would do it at the restaurants. You would do it on the beach. Like, it was just so because the rest of us sound like this. And so it was just so funny that you and mom
Do
were
you
like, yeah,
remember? Do you remember? It's same trip, same week. Mom was like, "So, what are we going to tell people? Like, where are we going to tell them we're from?" And I said, Dublin.
because we all
Dublin is
know
not.
that, right, right.
Yeah. So, for one, I don't know geography,
Uh-huh.
and for two, I don't have the best accent, anyways. But it was just something fun. Like you said, my friend Leslie did it all the time. And so I would already do it. Like, I would just jump into a conversation with a British accent. But that week, yes, mother did join me. We got on everyone's nerves. But
Mm-hmm.
that's what we do best.
It
If you put us
is.
together, we have one brain cell. Let's be
Es
honest.
especially when we're at the beach and the only thing we have to do is wake up, and that's all. Because that's how we vacation. We
Exist.
don't do anything besides go to the beach. And once we're at the beach, that's it. And I love it.
Yeah.
I
But
love it.
I also love that, like you said, all we had to do was wake up if we wanted to. That's one thing I've always loved about our vacations.
Hmm.
Like, mom and dad were like, "This is your vacation. Do what you want to do. If you want to sleep in all day, sleep in all day. If you don't want to leave the condo, don't. If you want to stay at the pool, be at the beach." Like, yes, we were at the beach, but we could do whatever we wanted. Also, since we're on the topic of the beach,
Yeah.
we were younger.
Uh-huh.
Don't worry, I can't show you proof of this because I got my teeth fixed. But do you remember when you kicked my mouth and you chipped my tooth at the beach? We were in the pool. You don't remember
No.
this?
What?
This was a very long time ago. This was around the time we went with the Parkers.
Uh-huh.
So we're in the pool. It's me, you. I think MK was there. I don't know if Megan was there, but Joel and Campbell. I don't remember
Okay.
Wilson being there either. But we're playing it. What's the game where one person stands on the outside and like you have to try to swim across without silent?
Yes.
Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Okay. I was the person outside of the pool and I turned around and you were swimming. So I jumped in after you. Now, obviously, you didn't mean to do it. But as I jumped in after you, apparently I jumped in too close and you kicked my mouth and you chipped my left front tooth. And it was chipped for years. I didn't get it fixed till I was in college. But you sure did. I had a hole. And it wasn't big. Like, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, her tooth is chipped. But it wasn't the same size as this one. Yeah, it is now. They're beautiful.
I do not remember this at all.
Absolutely. I remember that. I don't swim that far behind people anymore.
Or jump in when
Yeah,
they are
you're-
swimming.
That was the point of the game.
That's true. We're the two Robinsons that do want to play mermaids though when we are in a pool together. The rest of our family just wants to like sit and float. So I believe this story. I just don't remember it. And I'm sorry that I did that to you.
Yeah. That's okay. It did happen. Do you remember when Gran and T got us those motorbikes for Christmas one year?
Absolutely. Those were the best thing ever.
Right. And keep in mind, you were the only one old enough and tall enough to ride those, okay? Because they were tall. Like, you had to sit on them and have balance. Not I. I think it was a Saturday. It was a weekend of some kind. I don't know if you were going to remember this. Mom and dad, I bet it was just mom. I don't know if it was dad, but parental guardian told you to go out because I wanted to ride mine and you wanted to ride yours. But they told you to go outside and help me, like get on it, help me ride it, whatever. You quite literally got me on it and let me go. I didn't know what I was doing. I ran that motorbike straight into the curb and fell off, and I was done. I didn't want to ride it anymore. I never rode that thing. It died in the garage, in the shed, whatever. Never rode it again.
Never?
No, I mean, I could. I mean, it died. I don't know, dude. I don't know. But what were you gonna do? I don't blame you for it.
I love that, and I'm again so sorry. First on those, I remember because they also had horns on them that you could like push a button and they honked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think our neighbors were ready to like throw those bikes off a cliff by like the third weekend we had them because they were loud too.
Yeah.
Why do I have memory of us riding them together?
We didn't. Maybe MK. I think MK was weirdly good at it. I think she got the hang of it. I did not get the hang of it. I'm more of a bike girl now.
Uh-huh.
Nothing
electric.
Too bad I ran over our bikes too, so those don't exist anymore either.
You did what?
I ran over the bike.
With your car?
It was the truck I drove.
Mm-hmm. When did this happen?
In high school.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like 2 weeks ago that you just like.
No. It was in high school. I mean, I'm sure I parked the bike in the way. It was right there at the brick wall at the time. I parked in the garage with Mother.
Right.
And I was leaving and I was backing my truck out and bike gone. That bike didn't have any luck. Yeah.
And here we are.
That was a good one.
And then a more recent story about a little over a year ago, which is crazy. I had LASIK surgery. And you came and played nurse.
Did I? I think I was just kind of there for support.
Sure. Yes. And you drove me home.
I did. I drove you, but it was a great weekend.
It was. What was it like? Because you got to come to the TV studio that day as well. That's when I was working on the Daily Refresh still. What do you remember from like being there? Was there anything? Because I think I just slept a lot from what I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. So like you said, that morning you had to work, and so I went to work with you. And I just remember being in awe watching you and Sierra and Diamond do your thing because I watch it online or when Sierra's on live all the time, but I've never
Right.
been like there to watch it. So I loved that. And so then we left and you went and I mean, it felt long. It felt forever to me because I was just in the waiting room, but it really wasn't that long of a surgery. Like you were really in and out. I remember you just being like, I can see. Like you were just in awe. You were so thankful for that doctor who did it. Like I just remember you being so happy and excited because you have always had awful eyesight. Like it just,
Correct.
I don't know why you got that. I still got 2020 not to, anyway.
I'm
No
rolling my
glasses
eyes,
over here.
everyone that's listening to this right now. I'm rolling my eyes. Ah. Because
Sorry, when you got it,
you
you
didn't have
got
to
it.
have braces either, did you?
I did not. Now I do have a permanent retainer on the top of my teeth, but no,
Oh,
I was the lucky one.
God.
I don't know. I
I
don't know. We don't have to get into how perfect I am or anything.
mm,
Humble.
hum,
But yeah, I remember we went home and I think we
mhm.
both took a nap when we got home. But you did. You slept a lot. But by the next day, like I think that's when we hung out with your friends. Like
Yes.
we went to that arcade place.
Hmm.
Like you were ready to go. You wanted to go do things. And I think you even drove. Like I think the only time I drove was home.
Oh, I don't know. Well, I mean, when I tell you I got off that table, it the surgery part of this took less than a minute, and I sat up
Yeah.
and could read a clock across the room, which I had not ever done in my life that I could remember.
Right.
It was insane. Uh,
Yeah.
so that part, yeah, I very much do. I remember that. Um, yeah, you're a very good nurse, in case you're wondering. Like, if
You
this
know,
school psychologist thing doesn't work out, maybe go back to school for your third degree.
I have thought about going back just for a little bit, only to get like a little section of counseling, like get the mental health part of counseling. We're not going to go back right now. Interview tomorrow. Everyone pray for me if you're listening or watching. We need all the good vibes coming my way. But yeah, we'll see if I ever go back to school. I'm good at school. And so, like, if I wanted to be Dr. Meredith Robinson, I could make it happen. But right now, no, that's not happening.
No.
I don't want to pay for that. I don't want the
Yeah.
time to do that right now.
Sure.
But yeah.
Sure. Yeah,
But yeah,
let's
thanks.
find the job. Let's find the job
Yeah,
first.
right. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for the whole nurse compliment. I love taking care of people. It's just part of my perfectness. I'm a good person.
Part of just add it to Mary Poppins over here. Just
Oh,
add it to the list. Practically perfect in every
little did we
way.
know this was going to be a podcast to show how perfect I am. We didn't know what we
And
were getting into.
and there's my clip, everyone.
I'll
Great.
give you a little bit of the spotlight here.
Thank you.
So, as we both know,
Hmm.
we are the two children in the family that can sing, that can hold a
This
tune.
is true. This is
We
true.
got that going for us.
We do.
And in the beginning of, elementary, but middle school,
Hmm.
I didn't want to do choir. I didn't think singing was the way I was going to go as far as high school and middle school. And so I was doing art. I
Hmm.
also loved to draw. I think I'm a very good artist as well. If we're just going to keep adding to the list, this isn't about you anymore.
Just gonna put the mic down, everyone. This is Meredith's podcast now.
For whatever reason, it was me, you, and mom in the car. And what we're listening to was No Air by Jordan Sparks and Chris Brown. And I was singing the Jordan Sparks part, and you were singing the Chris Brown part. And
Of
I
course.
remember when that song was over, you looked at me and you said, "Why are you not in choir?" And like, I just remember you saying that because, like, at this time, I mean, you were doing lots of leaders, like you were singing, you were in choir, you did plays. And so, like, coming from you who like does that in front of people, like, my little self, I was like, "Oh, he really thinks I can sing." Like, I've been told I could sing, but, like, coming from you and coming from someone I looked up to growing up, like, it just meant a lot to me. And so then I did choir 7th grade, and I never did anything else all the way through high school. So thank you for making me do that.
You're welcome. My story I do remember about choir, my senior year of choir of high school, every year our last concert was a Pops concert.
Oh,
And
yeah,
my senior year, I got to host it, which was kind of like my
you
first
did.
taste into like emceeing things, which I love doing now. And so at one point, I don't remember the song or why I had to do it, but I was supposed to go out in
It,
the audience and get audience members to like sing into a microphone. And I had told Meredith, I'm coming to you because you were going to be a freshman the next year, and the choir teacher was there, and I was like, let's show off a little bit because you had to audition to be in some of the choirs at the high school. And you snubbed me. You would not sing into that microphone.
so so let's paint a picture for
Okay.
everyone listening right
Yeah,
now.
let's do it.
Um, he is 100% right. Nothing he said was wrong. But I want you guys to picture this little 8th grade girl who already has stage fright, who just got into singing in front of people with a group. There there's at least 200 people here,
Oh,
including all the kids, easily. All the parents, all the friends, we're all just sitting at tables eating dinner. Okay, there was food in front of me, and I'm at the table with the Pruitts. I don't know who else was there, but you sure did. You came up to me. You're talking about Taylor Swift. You wanted me to sing a Taylor Swift song. I said, and you're lucky Savannah Pruitt was sitting next to me because she did it. She took that microphone. I don't know what song she'd say. She'll do it for you. I said no, and I do. I don't remember you asking me prior or telling me prior that you were going to do that, but I do remember telling you I didn't want to.
and I said,
So,
I don't care. You're going to. And you didn't. And
yeah,
I do remember, yes, the Pruitts were there and family friends. And I did just like bebop right over to
yeah,
Savannah. And she, who knows what song she sang. I agree. I don't remember either. Um,
sweet girl.
but yeah, Meredith can still sing, everyone. So if you're ever around her, ask her to sing you something and she
I
will.
will probably. Or
She
just
will.
like if you track me, come to the grocery store, I'm probably singing while I'm shopping. But don't ask me to stand on a stage. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Would
Still to
you,
this day.
would you do it in a chorus? Like, would you do it with a group of people?
As long as I don't have a solo. Real quick though, I don't know if
Yeah.
you know this about me because I told this to mom the other day and she did not know this about me. But
Okay.
in choir, there were 3 different choirs. There's women's choir,
Hmm.
mixed choir, and chamber choir, and at some point, I think she added a 4th one. But I was in women's freshman year, mixed sophomore and junior year, and then I got into chamber senior year. Now, to get at the chamber choir, that's like the top choir, right? Not everyone gets in the
Right.
chamber choir. I know you did. Cool, cool, cool. I did too,
Thank
but
you.
you have to be able to read music. Like, you have to know what you're singing.
I can't read music.
I cannot read music. You point to a note, it looks like a note on some lines. It looks like the same one it's next to. I don't know what the name of that note is. And Miss Taylor knew this about me.
Hmm.
She knew I could not read music. And she was like, Meredith, that's the one thing that's like keeping me from putting you in chamber choir. I said, Miss Taylor, put me next to Savannah Pruitt. Let me listen to her. I can sing whatever's on that page. I have to hear it and then I'll get it easy. I sing along to songs in the car I've never heard before because I can catch on to the music. And so that was one thing I was talking to mom the other day. Still can't read music. They want me to join the little praise team at church and I'm not doing it. Let's just say that. But that's how we came up on that topic.
We are the same in that I can sit whoever I am sitting next to is what I will sing. That
Yes.
that is just I can tell you the name of the note. You can't point at a note and be like sing an E flat. I
Sing
can't
it.
do that. But I
Me
know
either.
FACE Elvis's guitar broke down Friday. I know that much. The treble clef. I don't know the bass clef. Um So I didn't know that we were similar in that way. Huh.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Look at
gave it my
us.
all. I gave it my all.
Oh,
Did you have to try out for all wax?
once, and it was
Just
horrific. Horrific.
have I told you this story? This is
Probably not.
totally becoming me and you think.
Love.
I had to try out too because when you're in chamber choir, you have to. Like it was
Yes.
a grade. You had to go. If you went, it was an A. If you did it, you had to have a really good reason as to why you couldn't. I went. You want to know who one of my judges was?
Yes, please.
Emily Taylor.
No way.
I walked in there. My mouth didn't open. That music started. I didn't sing a note at all. She was looking at me and she did not say a word to me. My own choir teacher. If any of you are listening and you don't know what All West is, it's literally choirs or just people all around West Tennessee coming to audition to be in this choir for West Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
All of West Tennessee. You're sectioned up by soprano, alto, tenor, bass, 1, 2, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an alto 2. I have a low voice. I can sing high, but that's just where I was placed. And you learn the alto 2 part of 3 songs. And I learned them, I guess. I didn't learn them. I walked in. Emily Taylor was one of the 3 judges in that room. That music started. Stared at all 3 of them. Didn't open my mouth. And she didn't say a word after I left. She did not look at me. And we got back to choir that following Monday, I assume. And she said, Meredith, I said, I don't want to talk about it. And that's where we left off. I just cat sat for her a couple weeks ago.
Love. I love Miss Taylor. Was it because you like were scared? Like, do you remember
I was
why?
nervous.
Okay.
I was so nervous. I was by myself in front of 3 judges. Come on now. They knew what they were getting. Oh, man. Good time.
What my story is, I, for whatever reason, was a tenor 1. And so in our choir, that was the highest male part. So you're like, really singing up here? And which like I can do, but like it's not comfortable. Like it's not where I can just like want to sing all the time. And I think
Right.
my audition was at like 8:30 in the morning. And if you know anything about singing, you have to warm up. It's like any other muscle. You need to like get ready.
Exactly.
I didn't do any of that. So I walked into that room and I probably did okay with the music that we had learned. But then going back to reading music, you have to sight read. And so they give you a piece of music you've probably never seen before. And they might like plunk out the notes on the piano once for you. And then
Yeah.
they just start playing it. And you were supposed to like, I think it, oh no, it wasn't, there weren't even words. Like you could make up words or you could just like,
Yeah.
la, 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 la. Like you could just la, la, la. That's where I was like, I'm out. I have, no,
All
and
of it.
again, it's
Yeah.
like 8:45 in the morning. So I'm sure my
Right.
voice, like, there's no, it was awful. I love singing.
Yeah.
It did not. Needless to say, neither of us made the All West Choir. Okay, so here's a question. What do you
Okay.
love about stories in general? Like, obviously, this has been so fun, and I love getting to do this with people. Is there something you love about telling stories with family, with friends, with groups of people who have never heard them before? What do you look forward to about that?
I think, like, in this aspect of telling stories, it's the fact that we've both just had, like, different point of views of things. So, like, being able to tell the same story with someone, just like, oh, I didn't realize that, like, the whole need story, like, you didn't realize or, like, you didn't remember some of the things that I remember. So, like, with this, that's what I've enjoyed about this the most today. Just, like, seeing what you remember, what I remember from growing up, but then just, like, telling stories with friends. I love not everyone's a great storyteller, and most people know if they're a good storyteller or not. I am not a good storyteller, but with that being said, whether you're a good storyteller or not, just like being able to like listen to someone tell a story and see like how they tell it. Like some people just get really into storytelling and like they really make you feel like you were there or like just their emotion when they tell it. Like you can really just put yourself there. And so I think just like being able to hear them talk about something that was either important to them or funny to them or exciting, whatever it may be, like kind of they want you there. If they're telling you a story, it's because they want you to know about it and they want you to feel what they felt in the moment. And so just being able to share that through stories is really fun to me, I think.
I love that, Mary. I love that. Sharing your
Thanks.
emotions, having people feel what you feel. Also, you are a good storyteller. FYI.
No,
I don't know
thanks.
why you think
I
I don't know
feel
why you think that.
my brain kind of just jumbles sometimes and I can get very off track in stories. So if I ever say long story short, it's long story long. I can't tell a short story.
And that's what makes a podcast so fun is we can tell
How did
stories
you
for
get down
hours.
there? You're like, your whole camera
Oh.
just shifted.
Oh no. That's crazy. Why would it do that?
I don't know.
And we're back. Technical difficulties. They're so fun. Mare, you have another story for us.
Warning this time before I start talking. If you're a child, please log off. Please stop listening because I'm about to ruin your hopes and dreams. So,
Little ears,
as
go
a
away for the
child,
next 2 minutes.
when I was a young child, my best friends, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, the Easter Bunny, anything like that, I loved those people. Those people made my childhood amazing, right? I was a
Uh-huh.
believer. I'm a believer. Let me tell you, we're in the car. Mother's driving. I'm in the back
Mm-hmm.
seat. And I think you and MK are in the middle row. And for whatever reason, we were on the topic of talking about Santa Claus. And I don't remember what was said. At this time, I think I was like 12. I wasn't a teenager yet. I was very close to becoming a teenager. But you said something along the lines of saying Santa Claus wasn't real or that mom was Santa Claus. And I heard that and I said, "What?" And you looked at me and you were like, "What?" I said, "Santa Claus is real." And you were the one to tell me Santa Claus was not real. And when I processed what you were saying, I was 12. I should have known. Okay. Looking back at it, I should have known. Okay. I was a good child. Well, then as I'm sitting there processing what you had just told me, I'm putting together that means the tooth fairy isn't real and the Easter bunny isn't real. Joshua, I was crying in the back seat of the car because the most important people in my life weren't even people. They did not exist. So that is how I found out that those people were not real and it was just mommy and daddy all along. So, like I said, little ears, so sorry. I'm so sorry. But if you're 12 or older, you should know. Just saying, experience.
So what I've learned today is I kicked out your front tooth.
Mm-hmm.
Uh I broke the news to you that all of those people aren't actual people.
Mm-hmm.
Um and you didn't know that you had gotten into grad school until 3 days before it started.
Right. Don't forget, you made me crash into the curb outside of our front house, too.
Right. And I put you on an electric scooter and sent you on your way, not helping like I was supposed to as an older brother. Man, I also do great at taking care of people, as you have learned here today. I
The
am
best.
very good at that.
And
Well,
yet
remember,
you're still one of my favorite people.
you're one of my favorite people.
Kissy, Josie.
Wow. Mwah. Well, remember, this has been a blast, and I know there are so many more stories. I'm hoping to have our whole family on so we can get just a full spectrum of things. Still trying to convince mom and dad, but we'll get there. But if people want to follow along to keep up with your story and everything you got going on, is there anywhere we can follow you?
Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if I know my Instagram. Let's look at it
We
all
love.
together right now. It would be
I
Meredith_Robinson17. You can follow me there. That's
okay.
really the only place I post because anything I put on Instagram, it links to my Facebook.
So it's one and the same. It's one and the same. Well, remember, I love you very much, and thank you so much for sharing your stories on tape today.
Thank you so much for allowing me to do so. I have had the best time talking to you. We need to do this more often.
Let's
You're
do it.
just so
I'm
far
down. You
away.
Hey, come visit. There's
Okay,
a couch.
you know what? Now that we're on the subject, if anyone
Uh-huh.
wants to fund my trip to New York, my Venmo is also Meredith underscore Robinson. So I can go see my brother.
To be clear, I'm just living in New York City, everyone, and she's in Memphis. So like, but if you do Venmo her, put stories on tape in the like little description so we know you listened, and we will we'll give you a big shout out in our post about it after she comes and
Absolutely.
visits.
That's so funny.
I love you, Mare.
I love you so much.